Well, look at that. They're just going to leave the front one with open ends and let water fall where it may. Similarly with this one. Down this west end, I've carried it across and joined it into the downpipe for the west end. I kind of think that particular downpipe might get overwhelmed with volume, as the rain really does come down hard here at times. But 4 else fails, it'll fly over the top. There's obviously not much rain going on. There's a bit of rice drying going on, and a bit of gardening as well. Though look at up there. Wonder what we're growing. And still growing a mountain out the back. Oh well. There's buyers for it. Sometimes. So yeah, they gotta. Oh my god, bagging that up would be such a drag. But yeah, big mountain of rice husks. See, we still have a puddle there, so I don't think we're overflowing here. It could be from the runoff from the roof next door. It's not from the tap, so well, won't stress myself about it. Back in Australia, I used aluminium U-channel to make slide-in racks for my Nespresso pods underneath one of the overhead cupboards in the kitchen. I'm going to do the same here. That U-channel there was from Bunnings, and I think it was 10mm by 10mm by 1.5mm thick. The stuff I got from here is much finer, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be as strong as that stuff. The stuff from here is 8mm by 8mm, and I think probably about 1mm thick if I'm lucky, but that's fine. The problem I had in Australia was that cupboard was only 30 centimetres deep, which was good for 8 pods in a slot. There's 10 pods in a packet, so hence the ones at the right hand end are all the leftovers. The cupboard I'm going to put the things under here is actually 39 centimetres deep, so I have room. I only need 37 centimetres. Yeah, so I'm going to be able to get 10 pods in a slot here. There's my Nespresso machine at the end of the microwave there, and that's the cupboard I'm going to put these racks under. So I just got to put them in from the end a bit to avoid my head banging protection. That's fine. Should be able to get quite a few rows across there. Not as many as in Melbourne before they become unworkable at the end up there. But I do have the option of other cupboards if necessary. Could put the Nespresso machine up there. Use the underside of that cupboard. And this is my aluminium U. It's might not even be 1mm thick. Might be less than that. But what I need to do is cut off 39 centimetres. And I'll have about 26, 27 left over. So what I can do is use those pieces and join those, because most of these are going to have a pair of U's back to back. It's only at the ends where I have a single U at the side. So in the middle where I've got them back to back, I can use an offcut, a shorter piece at the front backed onto one of these others, and another small piece cut at the back of that. So I can make this work without having too much waste. And here's my setup for cutting it to length. I only have to do 2 cuts for now, and then later on when using the shorter pieces I'll have to do some extra cuts. But there's 12 pieces of this tube there, and it's all edges when I'm trying to cut it, so I can't actually cut it on the forward stroke, and it hangs up every time on the edges, so I've got to use only back strokes on the saw, which is going to be slow cutting, but it does actually cut, so I'll keep doing that. There's my full collection of pieces. So the long ones are obviously the ones that are full length, and then from the leftovers I got the shorter ones, and then divided some of those in two to make even shorter ones to make up the full length. So I'll go and start spacing them out somewhere to see just how many of them I get to use. Well, there you go, I'm up for 16 slots. That covers 74 centimetres. There's room under there for more, but I think no, 16 will do. Now I'm going to go and try and build a jig to hold the spacing on these correct, so that I can glue them all with a bit of silicone sealant on the tops and in between the rows, and then stick them up on the underside as a unit so as to keep all the alignments in place. Well, I got my jig, or the first part of my jig, mostly marked up. So 8mm wide slot, 6mm deep, 16mm wide slot, 30mm between the slots. So 8, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, sorry, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 16, 30, 8, because this will be at the end. I've got a fan running here, so it's not going to stand up, but there'll be a single one sitting in there for the end, and then in between I'll have these guys back to back sitting in there. So the idea is that if I have 4 pieces like this with spaces between them and they're correct, I can assemble all of my pieces into one assemblage, apply glue, apply silicone sealant or whatever I'm going to use for glue, and then with that, the jig, just position it where I want it, up against on the side of the overhead cabinets, and then just drop the jig away, because the silicone sealant's sticky enough that, and this is light enough that it will stay there okay. This is my theory, but I am in meltdown. I'm melting all over my, well, you can see drops are raining down. Time to go back and cool down. A fan just doesn't cut it. We have a short break for the noise. Angle grinders and hammer drills and what have you all going on outside the lounge room here, which is on the southeast corner of the house, because they're installing downspouts for the spouting they put around the north and south, sorry, the east and south side of the house. So they join up together and run down the corner post of the veranda and or front porch. You can see 2 views. Top camera is looking straight down on him from the corner camera, which he's likely to bang with his pipe the way he's going. And the other one's looking from the south door, the east facing south door of the back kitchen. So that's looking along the south side of the house. So I can keep a fair idea of what's going on around here. And they would have been wondering what I've been up to too, because they saw me over at the shed working on creating that jig for my Nespresso pod holder rack, and wondered what I was doing. I said to Jubaedah, Mister is always over at the shed working on something. And I think I might get the first one fully drawn up, and then say to these guys, okay, I want 3 more just like that, and then build those into the jig to mount all the bits of aluminium on, and use that to install the aluminium, and then it'll be a single-use jig, sadly. So this is where we're at the southeast corner of the house. It's I kind of wonder, because that's 1 down pipe, that's 2 down pipes, 3 down pipes, and 4 down pipes. Now, for a climate where we can get rainfall rates of 130 millimetres an hour plus, I don't know that they're going to have sufficient flow capacity for the area of this roof. Don't quite know how to work it out though. Probably it's just going to have to be an observation thing. I'll see how much overflow we get when it rains hard. So there's going to be an additional downspout. So lots more jackhammering and ankle grinding. I really only want these things to be 6 millimetres deep, and to try and get that consistent, I think what I need to do is find a bit of metal with a straight edge on it that I can screw on there so it works as a stop. Ideally I'd have one for each side, so I'll go and see what I can find. Strangely enough, that took all of about 2 minutes. I have these leftover pieces. Basically there were brackets that just clip into these that you put shelves on, but I don't have the shelves and I don't have the brackets, but I have 3 of these left over. That'd be ideal for this, I think. I just need to go and get some screws from over at the house to screw these down. I've got my guide rails set up on both sides of the board now, so it will be consistent depth end to end, but I can use the back edge of this as a guide for this guy, so I can attempt to get a straight line along here, cutting that down to a narrower piece. This is something where a circular saw would have been a better answer, but I don't actually have one of those. The jigsaw lines are not exactly straight, even when you hold them up against a guide like that, because we seem to have a bit of slope off that way, a bit of wavering, so even though the right hand side of this was against the rail all the way. So, damned if I know. Well, it's after lunch. It looks like they've finished this particular bit of down piping. So that'll flow out there and down to that hole down there, which flows through to the drain. Oh well, I'll see how it performs when we next get a downpour. These guys are taking over and making my jig, and I'll let them know we need 4, so we'll see what happens. Well, we currently have a precipitation rate of about 41 millimetres an hour, so that one looks like it'll be fine for 130. That one's taking it easy. There's a bit of overflow in the corner up here. That one's not going anywhere. You can see the texture over there. If I came to stop due to a flat battery. Well, you can see the water there. What percentage of the capacity of that system it is, I don't know. Rainfall rate is currently 73 millimeters an hour. I don't think it's using half capacity, so that's good. I can't actually look at one up there because it's on a corner where I can't get an eyeball on it. As you can see, this one, well, that's off the top of Yaya's house there, but all that flows down here into this drain, which comes out the pipe in that same drain. So there's plenty of water running down from the yeah, it looks like you could easily handle twice that rainfall. Well, after that rain event, the guys were out here making modifications earlier. I'll have to go back and compare videos to see what they've done, but I think they added that downspout from the top rail over there. Well, that's kind of what it looks like using the jig for spacing. So we just need another one at that end, and maybe we can get away with another single one there bridging that join. So I'll put it to the guys that we need two more. It was looking a lot brighter in the kitchen than normal. I thought they must have taken this roof off here, despite just putting improvements on the spouting, but no, they're fixing up Yaya's roof, because we've got this leftover metal here, and wood doesn't last in the climate here, so they're fixing that up. As I said, scope creep never ends here. I thought Jubaedah told me we'd bought this bit out here at the back of Lizu's house, but no, what we bought is the land between the end of this bit and the trees. So, okay. I must have been doing a bit of digging here. It's not the even cone than it was. Oh, Goosey's coming to check me out. Quack, 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 quack. Quack, quack, quack. Nope, okay. Wonder what beasties they have living in that pond. We're at the back of the rice factory here. You can see the pile up there is, yep, twice as high as the fence. I actually came down here to see if I could identify the source of the smoke that was drifting across that way earlier, that I could see on the cameras from the shed. And there's one possible source of smoke. Another would be this little cook fire here, and another will be over here, where maybe they've been doing a bit of barbecuing. So I don't know, three potential sources of smoke. That new chook shed they built has got some flow-through ventilation at least. Yeah, don't know why that one's been put in prison. And we can see that the concrete in front of the rice factory here is not standing up well. The borders are sort of fairly solid, but in the middle here it's just mud which has been pounded down with a few rocks pounded into it, and then concrete on top of it. So it's not like it's got reinforcement in it. And this is probably how they make their roads as well in some places, because some of their roads only last about 5 years before the concrete's all broken up. the concrete roads between here and Panambang are not subject to that because they've actually got Rio in them. So those leftover metal strips are going up as new buttons for the tiles. So that should improve the longevity of the things a bit. Well, yeah, here we are with more and more heads coming up on the rice at the back of the shed. So, what do you reckon? 2 weeks, 3 weeks before it's harvested? It's a long time since I've been for a walk down to the creek. Sure there's wildlife in there. You can see from the bubbles. That seems to me like the swirls of small fish in the surface. And we know that fish live in here because on a previous video I did actually have a shot of one leaping from downstream to upstream across the top of this, which is an impossible shot to catch, but I got it. The mesh fence that was along here, or netting fence that was along here, has been pulled down for some reason. I wonder if that was kitties or some other purpose. And I see that the back of the scaffolding here is rotted out, as it does. Oh well. So that bit of trellis is just catching up with the trellis that was along here. It was previously rotted and fallen down. Less than 2 years old. Because this shed is less than 2 years old. That went up after the shed. It's the tropics, so at 5:45 it'll be dark soon. It's pretty much the same year round. We're only 6.5 degrees south of the equator, so there's not any seasonal variation of note. Let's see what's changed. I've spotted a globe that's not working. The automatic lights have come on, so that one in there should be on right now. There's a lizard party on the end wall. Lots of little guys like this scurrying around, hopefully dealing with mosquitoes that come past. There's 5 in view there currently. 6. There's one up the top, one just on a bit, one out to the right. There's one hiding behind an antenna on the access point there, one down the bottom right of the window, one halfway between the corner of the window, and one hiding behind the pipe. So, what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And there's another one over there. 8. So, yeah, there's a lot of them around. And these actually tend to be quite noisy little buggers. It's remarkable how much sound they can make. Well, they got Yaya's roof reassembled last night, so you can see now it's got the galvanised iron battens across there for the tiles to hang on. So I don't know whether that means they're finished there or not. Could be. But anyway, the guys are off today doing their own thing, so I'm going to go over to the shed and have a go at getting some of my stuff done without them trying to take over. We had these wardrobe drawers swapped out because they were bowing sort of in different curves, and when you have 3 of them strung end to end, then with overlap and they bow, doesn't mean they open very easily. So we got those replaced out with better quality ones, but these have the advantage that they do actually have a straight edge along there and the back edge. So what I'm thinking is I will take this piece, which still has a straight edge on it, I'll peel off that fur and I will make 2 more of those, because I only need about 740 mils for one of those, and that's definitely going to have at least 2 in it. I don't know if this is going to show up too well here, but That thing is straight down to about there, and below that there's quite a curve in it. And for my purposes that won't actually matter. I only need it to be straight and that edge. But I got to get this sticky stuff off here, hence my magic spray. The other thing I discovered was that my one good pen over here, one of those kind, had gone off and found a new home. It may be accompanying my 5 metre tape measure now. Yeah, some things disappear and never come back. Just like my ratcheting ring spanner, which was perfect for these, which I told the guys should always live with those. That's gone missing. So I don't know whether they've taken it off somewhere or other, or whether it's found a home with somebody else. But it's annoying. Don't know why that's not picking up the readings from the weather station, but it's suffice it to say it's 13.5 degrees inside and 77% humidity. I've been here for less than half an hour and I'm melting down. And there's another thing I made at school more than 50 years ago. Just found it on the floor over near the air compressor. I had no idea what it was doing over there, but that's obviously not the right place for it. And it needs some treatment with WD-40 by the look of it. And I can't find that here anymore either. So I think I need to take this home. I was going to come back and continue this afternoon, but it rained. 86 and a bit millimetres so far. So takes a fall. What I really come over here for was to check on the genset to make sure that after its last maintenance run it went back into auto mode properly, because it's going to require a genset start before long. It's a bit dull at the moment, so the house is importing from here and it's well above 90% full, but this one's down around 30 currently, I think. Well, that's all good. I don't know why this space station still can't see the weather station outside. This is not the one that reports to Wonderground. The one that reports to Wonderground is still connected. That's the one that's out up on the wall of the tanks. Maybe this one's suffering a bit from what the other one was that caused me to move it out there. Between here and the weather station itself, there is the Faraday cage that contains the genset. Inadvertent Faraday cage, but Faraday cage nonetheless. Oh well, back to the house. It's not unpleasant sitting out here under the gazebo at the moment. It's 24.9 degrees, feels like 26. It's quite reasonable. Humidity of course is 99%, but with the water falling out of the sky, yeah, that's no surprise. But yeah, wet again. Well, 2 days on, the guys are still working on getting this finalised apparently. It's yeah, bigger job than I thought. Well, I didn't get far with cleaning the gummy stuff off this. I'll have to carry on with that. That's not going to happen this video. We've got good sunshine apparently, because the shed's batteries are charging up well. I thought we were going to have a genset start this morning, because this was dull yesterday, and lots more rain forecast for today, so I thought it was going to be dull again today. Not so much. It's Friday and it's wet. I will wrap this video up and might even tackle that fish that's jumping over the or in the creek that I mentioned earlier. I'll go and find the video for that and tack that on the end.